So I made a short on YouTube the other day talking about these jacks and what you can do with them. Talking about the ones with the weld-on pucks. I had a lot of questions about what they're used for and how they're helpful, so I wanted to make a quick video going over it and a couple other things I've done to my trailer here. Just a quick overview of some stuff that I've done to this trailer. Whenever I got it, it has this style coupler on the front of it. The jack was never there. There's actually another bar underneath of this tongue box that the jack was mounted on. Obviously the tongue box wouldn't fit here, and it was a screw top, so the handle spun that direction. So I mounted this jack on here. It's not quite finished, but you know, it does the job. Took a couple pieces of angle iron, welded them on there. It's just a car trailer. You know, the heaviest thing I haul on here is probably going to be that truck or this truck, which surprisingly weighs less. So I got the tongue box on there. I got the 10K jack. That's sweet. It's got a drop leg on it, which the drop leg was enough of a reason to put this jack on there. It's way better than putting a 4x4 or something under one of those other style jacks. It just makes it easier. You don't have to crank it as long. Probably the next biggest improvement is going to be the 12,000 pound Harbor Freight winch, the Badlands, with the battery box on there. I just have the controller in the box and then the battery switch. I see a lot of people asking online what to do with this switch. I just have it tucked down in this box, and this box is just mounted with a piece of flat stock on the bottom there, bolted to the bottom, and then I have the battery hooked up to it. So that's all it is. Nothing fancy. It does the job. And then just a deep cycle battery, marine battery or whatever. And then the winch is just mounted. So there's the Harbor Freight winch plate on top. And then on the bottom side, it's another Harbor Freight winch plate. It's like a giant washer. And that's all you really need. That's all you really need. I added these bars on here. They're welded there and then to the channel on the front of the trailer. Just because I was paranoid, but my brother's trailer just has the bolts and the plates, and it does a fine job. The biggest thing to pay attention to is the nuts that come with these winches are metric, and you don't want them to bottom out into the winch plate there, into the body of the winch itself. So you gotta, you know, based on your decking and everything, you gotta measure for those bolts. But that thing's a lifesaver. It lets me buy so much more junk. I absolutely love it. And then obviously I have these jacks on here. A couple people noticed and they put in the comments, so this is the style ramp that I have. On equipment trailers, there would be a leg that came down and rested on the ground, and that would prevent this from going down, picking the back of your truck up. That's a dually truck. I'm sure that there's heavier dualies out there. I get that it's an OBS Chevy. But if I load that truck onto this trailer without these jacks on here, it will pick those tires off the ground. Now, I have a wheel chock. You can chock these wheels and it won't go anywhere. But you're bending that whole trailer like that, right? You're pulling down on this and down on the very farthest part on both sides, and you really don't want that. I know I have a buddy, he told me specifically not to do that because he bent a trailer like that. So that's the main reason for the jacks. And then obviously I snagged a video. I was servicing the wheel bearings. I'm getting ready to drive down empty, like 5 hours away, and then I'll be bringing a truck back. So I just wanted to make sure everything was good with that. You can check it out. It's a 7,000 pound car trailer, but the tires themselves are rated for the weight that's on there. so I'm not that worried about it. Whenever the axles wear out, I'll put some beefier axles under there, probably some 50, 200 pound Dexters. And I service them, like I said, that's what that video was for. But the truck's on there. And then the biggest question I think I probably got was, you know, guys saying you can run over a 4x4, you know, and pick the rear axle up. And I get that, and you absolutely can. If that's what you want to do, by all means do it. But I have that jack on there, and I have that nice big beefy jack on the front. And I don't know which one of these trucks I'm going to be hauling this with. So instead of having a block of 4x4 in the bed of every truck, or trying to jam one in my tongue box, that, you know, I put my straps in, and then I got my jacks. Obviously I need the jacks for loading. I was using chunks of 4x4 and putting them under the rear of the trailer, and that sucked. So I put the jacks on there. Jacks go in the box whenever I'm done. Everybody is happy. So I'll show you. I'm going to jack this jack up first, pick some weight off of this, and then I'll show you me jacking those jacks up. All right, I got the weight off the front. So let's sit here and we'll spin this guy. We'll see. I don't think I can do this one-handed, but... And just like that, we've got the tires up. So you could change them. Now again, I think a lot of people misunderstood me, that was the reason for the jacks, was to lift the tires off the ground. And I know some people store their trailer like that, and that's great. Mine are literally to compensate for having this style of ramp. I mean, you can see they're both bent a little bit. I just don't want to be torquing on this trailer. I bought it brand new. I'd like to take care of it. If you have any more questions, you know, feel free to drop it in the comments, or if you want to see more about anything I've done to this trailer, certainly I can make another video about it.